Hey,
Okay.
what's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cops Court and Community. I'm Darnell Leeson, and as always, guys, I appreciate you guys. If this is your first time here, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. So let me say what's up to my old subscribers and my new. And of course, once you do subscribe, please put in the comment section below, I subscribe, and that way I'll be able to welcome you to the neighborhood personally. So today, guys, I'm sitting via Zoom with Big Mac Sam, and he's gonna introduce himself, tell you a little bit about what he does. And I figured it was a good idea to get him on because obviously we know what I do. Sam is gonna let you know what he does. And I think together we can make things a little bit safer out there for both you and I, your
Yes.
families, his family, and anybody that's watching. I think it's an invaluable tool to any new driver who's seeking to get out on the road, no matter where you are, New York State, California, Denver, Florida. It doesn't matter where you're from. I think what he does is an invaluable tool. And I'm just going to turn it over to him right now and allow him to introduce himself. And he's going to tell the viewers what he does. Sam, what's up, man?
Hello, everyone. My name is Big Mac Sam. Well, my name is Sam, but I'm also known as Big Mac Sam. I'm a content creator too. So I have a YouTube channel. Just look up Big Mac Sam on YouTube and you'll find me. I'm a driving instructor and I just give tips, driving advice, rules of the road, whatever, on my YouTube channel. And uh, I, I'm a I'm certified to teach behind the wheel and to teach the class.
Okay.
Um, I used to drive transit bus, uh, coach bus. So driving is just my bread and butter. Excuse me
I
one
hear you.
second.
I hear you.
Yeah, so it's just what I do. I've driven buses for years, and I just one day I decided to leave the transit bus. I used to work in New Jersey. Now I'm in New York, and I decided to leave that and become a driving instructor. After so many years of driving, I figured, I've been driving for so long that I might as well become a driving instructor. Speak about the experiences, the rules of the road, and I decided to become certified. In order to be certified, you have to get. I'm sure you're gonna ask me questions about it later, but I'll explain in a few.
All right.
Yeah. So yep. So
All
there you
right.
go
Good.
for now. Yeah.
Uh, my first question to you, well, before I even get into the questions, like I said, at the
Sure.
beginning, what you do is an invaluable tool to the motoring public, for
Yes.
those who, want to learn, the rules of the road and how to operate a motor vehicle safely. And you gave your background. You a transit bus operator for many many years, and you
Mm-hmm.
taking your experiences and brought them into the classroom setting by becoming a certified instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is, what does it take to be, a driving instructor? And is there any, special classes that you have to take to get certified? So could I just say, hey, I've been driving for 20 years, I have law enforcement experience, I think I can teach, people how to drive safely, and they just say, here's a certification? Is that how it works?
No. Actually, I want to see if I can share something on my screen. Can I share something on my screen here? Let's see if it comes out. Let me see if I can. Is it possible? Let's see. Yeah, share screen right here. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Uh-oh.
What
Can
happened?
you can you enable that? It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Let me see. Screen share,
Yeah.
multiple participants. Let's see. More, allow to record, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. It showed up. It says host allows you to record this meeting. Oh, that one. You know what? And
Try that.
I'm not even recording right now, so I forgot to hit the record button.
All
But that's
right.
all right. As long as you have it.
Yeah, try that.
All right. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Give me a second. Share computer sound. Okay. So What do you see? Do you see my desktop? I don't know
Yes.
if you. Okay, it's blank, right? The blank
Yeah,
desktop.
just I got the window screen. Or we
Okay,
all have
because
the window screen.
yeah, because I have I have two monitors, one from the laptop and the second monitor.
Okay.
So let me show you what it takes to become a certified driving instructor. Let me see if you can see this right here. Let me bring this over. Can you see this window?
Yes.
Okay, right here. Here we go. This is what it takes to become a driving instructor. Okay, what are the requirements to become a driving school instructor? First, you must be employed by a driving school licensed by the DMV. You must also meet requirements identified in the Commissioner's Regulations Part 76.16. So you must be 21 years of age,
Okay.
must have a driver license valid for operation in New York State that has been valid for at least 2 years preceding application in the class of vehicle that the instructor intends to teach in, and has not been suspended or revoked in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Shows an acceptable driving record. You have to have a clean
Clean
driving record.
record. Right.
Yes. Must have a high school or high school equivalency diploma. Must pass the required test. There's four tests I had to take to be certified,
Okay.
uh, which is a vision test, a road sign test, a written test, and a driving school instructor driving test, which is a road test, you know. So I had to take all those. A vision test, they check your eyes to see how well you see. A road sign test, they give you a sheet of paper and it has all the road signs with no words on them. You have to, describe
To
or
say what it
define.
is. Okay.
Yeah, to say what it is, yes. And then the written test. The written test is actually 100 questions. So you gotta get. I think it's over 70%.
70. Yeah, normally in New York State, those tests, yeah, it would have to be 70%.
Yeah, yeah. So yep, you have to get that score, and then they test you on the road to see how you drive.
How
It's
you
you,
drive. Okay.
even though you have your driver's license, you get tested in basically any job that you do. You get road tested, just like being a bus driver. When
Right.
any bus company I worked for, I was always road tested. On
Okay.
that
So,
vehicle.
all right. So, if I wanted to become an instructor, pretty much I'd have to get hired by a driving school, you know,
Yes, yes.
and all of this stuff is pretty, pretty simple.
Yep.
I don't think I'd have any problems, you know,
But there's two more
with
things.
any of these things.
Yeah, there's two more things. You have to take a 30-hour course. It says it right here at the bottom. If you guys can
Okay.
see this, you have to take a. It says before your driving school instructor certificate can be renewed, you must also complete a course in driver training and traffic safety approved by the commissioner, consisting of at least 30 hours. It's known as the Methods and Content Course for In-Car Instruction. So
Okay.
this 30-hour course is taught by various community colleges and driving schools that have been approved by DMV to provide the course. Now that's only for behind the wheel training. You gotta do the 30-hour course.
All right.
Now, if you want to become a 5-hour class instructor, that's another 30 hours. That's part two. You got to take that too. So,
All
yep.
right.
And
So basically what I'm seeing here is that, I
hmm
would feel comfortable knowing that, these driving school instructors are trained, they're getting the
yes,
proper instruction to turn
hmm
around and teach um those who are looking to get their license,
yes, yes.
they're trained.
And I'm gonna show you. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get out of here and stop the screen share. All right, stop screen share. Stop share. Here it is. All right, should we big screen now? You can see
Yes.
me.
We're
Okay.
good. We're good.
So once you get that, you get one of these cards. Now I did block out my personal
All right.
information.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. It has your name, birthday, certification number, the driving school you work for, and right here at the bottom where it says, well, you got the expiration when it expires. Mine expires 2022. And right here at the bottom, see how it says classroom Y?
Yes.
That means that I can teach the 5-hour class. Some driving instructors, it says classroom N for no, because they're not certified. They only took only 30 hours. That's it. But I took 60 hours to do both.
Okay. So let me ask you now, how do you communicate, with these students during, their driving lessons, and what do you really tell them before they actually get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle?
One of the first things I ask when they're about to get in the car or when they get in the car, the first thing I ask is, have you been behind the wheel before? I want to know if they got some experience.
Okay.
Because if it's the very, very first time, they never been taught how to, you know, have any skills with driving the vehicle or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have to start from scratch, you know.
Gotcha.
So, but if some of them say they had experience, their father was teaching them, or brother, sister, whatever, um, then it tells me that they have some knowledge of the, the car. And
So if somebody says, "Oh, my father was teaching me to drive," why would they now come to you for further instruction?
and yeah, that that's funny because I've heard a lot of horror stories about family members, friends teaching someone. I had students tell me that they crashed their father's car, or they hit something,
Wow.
so they decide to go to a driving school because they figure we have all the tools to teach a student the correct way. And on top of that, you keep in mind that for your viewers, that driving schools, they come with a second brake. So on the passenger side, there's a brake right there for us.
Okay.
So we have
Yeah, I've watched several of your videos with the students behind the wheel, and I remember growing up, I used to see like a driving school car with the steering wheel on that side. How come I don't see that anymore?
Yes, I know that. I heard about that too. I actually asked about that, and they figured they don't need it anymore because we can just have our left hand ready, and they're expensive. Cars like that are much more expensive, to build them like that.
Okay, so
So
you just have a brake. That's it. So is it
we just have a
in?
brake, and we have our left hand to grab automatically, the bionics. I don't know if you seen my video on
Yes,
YouTube.
yes, that was a
My
good one.
bionics kicked in.
So the brake, is it in relation to where it is if I were the driver, or is it more for your right foot? Is it for the left? I mean, I don't know. Where is it situated?
Oh, it's situated just like how we drive with our right foot.
Uh-huh. A
Well, it's situated a little bit to the right,
little bit more
just
to
like
the
when
right.
yeah, just like when you're driving. Or it could be, well, the brakes, like the brakes in a regular passenger, when you're driving, I mean, it's right in the middle, right? So
Right.
it's right in the middle to us too.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So now, you said that, the students would, you know, get into an accident with their friends or their parents' car.
yeah,
And we all know that driving is a big responsibility for a new driver. And it's really nerve wracking for somebody, especially
sure,
that's never been behind the wheel of a
sure,
car.
yeah.
They don't know. They do a lot of overcorrecting. I remember I did that when I was first learning to drive. How do you calm your students, and let them know, listen, I understand it's a stressful thing. What do you do? What do you
Hmm.
say to calm that stress?
I I just speak to them, very gingerly, very carefully, and with a nice tone of voice. You can't come up to a student and tell them, listen, this is how you're gonna do it. Don't be so firm about it that they're gonna get more nervous. I just tell them it's gonna be okay. I actually have a video of a student that was very nervous. I did blur her image because she did not want to be on YouTube. But if you see my video, I was talking to her very nice and calm, and I was telling her it's going to be okay. And I also told her that if she wants to observe how a driver drives, I'll get behind the wheel first, and she'll just see how I do it. And she felt more comfortable doing it that way. So, and then that's how we get started, little by little by little, with the
Okay.
student.
So how did she? I guess was this her first time behind the wheel?
Very first time, very
Wow.
first time.
Is
Yeah,
that is that nerve wracking for you as well?
um, I've gotten used to it. At first, it was a little scary at first, when you're a beginner driving instructor. But then as you've been with the experience of doing it for a while, you're used to it, and then you just keep going.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
And
So
you know
now,
what's here? Go ahead.
so someone that's new that's
Hmm.
behind the wheel, and it kind of leads into my next question. Is there one? Where do you prefer, and is there a specific time that you prefer? Well, I don't think you would be doing it at night, so maybe that's just not a valid question. But is there a safer place, that you prefer to take new drivers, or
Yes.
we just go out on the road?
No, with brand new drivers that never been behind the wheel, if I
Hmm.
don't feel comfortable with them, I'll drive first, take them to an area that's much safer, less traffic. It could be by some factory area, hardly any traffic.
Okay.
Sometimes like on a Sunday, if the parking lot is not too heavy at a mall, and there's hardly no cars in certain areas, we'll take them there. This is best to go to areas that are very little traffic to start with them.
All right. Something that I just thought about and I forgot to
Yeah.
mention at the very beginning. Sam and I did another video where he interviewed me, and guys, definitely go to his channel. Of course, I'm going to put his information in the comment
Thank you.
section below, where you can go and check out that video and see how that went. I think it went well. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
it
I
was a
sure
good
did.
one. It was good. So make sure you one subscribe to his channel,
Thank
especially if
you.
you have somebody that's up and coming that wants to, learn how to drive. Just go check out his channel. There's some good information there. There's some good videos. There's some funny videos out there. I definitely enjoy the content that you're putting
Thank
out
you.
there. Um, but let me just jump into my next question.
Sure.
What strategies do you find are actually most effective when teaching an underperforming driver? So not somebody that gets behind the wheel and you see, all right, this person's good. Somebody that keeps doing something that could potentially, get them into an accident later on in their driving, career, their
Hmm.
time behind the wheel. Can you explain, what strategies you use?
If they're really not doing too good on the road, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, I just I'll just try to keep cool, and I'll explain to them the situation, the rules of the road. You have to do it this way because you can get fined for it. Um, I just keep going with them and keep working with them. Some of them, some students take much longer. Everybody learns at a different pace,
Right.
and some people take much longer to learn the skill of driving, and some people just pick it up fast. So those that are not doing too good, I just keep working with them, and I just keep repeating myself. It's just like when they say, when you teach an animal something over and over and over, they start picking it up. So we'll just keep repeating the same thing over. Like there's certain students that have a lot of problems turning. Like they're gonna make a right turn, they start turning too soon, or they start turning too late. They're gonna end up on the other side of the road. I'll just help them and just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it until they start picking it up.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
You should know that testing here in New York State. Making that turn. If you hit the curb,
Oh yeah.
what
Yeah.
happens?
Yes, yes.
You
That's
fail.
it. Done. Yeah, exactly. And I
So
know,
why is that important? When turning, turning a car too soon. Why is that important to make sure that you gauge that turn the right way? What could happen to somebody that's cutting it too close to the curb or
if
turning
you're,
too soon?
well, there could be a pedestrian at the corner, or of course the sidewalk. If you're gonna get too close, you're gonna hit something. You might possibly, your back tire is gonna hit something, or your front tire is gonna hit something. So
Yeah. How many? If you drove with 10 students, how many do
hmm
you think actually hit the curb when they were turning?
not none with me, because I automatically grab that wheel.
Okay.
I might, like like I said, I
That
say to my wife
bionics.
too. Yeah, I tell my wife, my bionics kicked in, and she starts laughing when I say that.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah,
Again, you got to check out that video. That one's
yeah,
funny. That one definitely made me laugh.
yeah.
So you're getting out there with your students,
Hmm.
and now are you with them from start to finish? So I come to you, or
Hmm.
someone a new driver, they come to you, they want to learn how to operate a vehicle safely on the road. Day one, are you with them to the end where they get their road test, or at that point you cut off and then something else happens?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, with some students, some driving schools, they tend to change driving instructors on students. I don't know why. I think they should stick with one driving instructor so they can get used to it.
Right.
But actually, some students prefer multiple driving instructors to get different opinions. So it just depends, If some people, they like a certain driving instructor, they tell the driving school, listen, I want to stick with this driving instructor. He's really good. He's really nice. He knows what he's talking about. And some students, they say, I don't like this driving instructor. He's a little too firm, so, so it just depends on the situation.
Right. So, how many of your students would you say actually passed their road test or their
Mm,
driving exam?
That
On the first shot.
um that's a kind of like a hard question to answer. And I was talking to my wife about that because some students they think they could pass the road test with only 5 hours of driving.
They
Five
think
hours.
they
They
think they
think
can.
they think they can pass with
Oh,
5 hours. Believe it or not, the DMV recommends at least 50 hours of driving before you take a road test. Some
mhm.
people think they could do it in 5. Some people think they could do it in 10. Now, believe it or not, there's some that they do pass with 5 hours, but maybe they were taking some lessons on the side with a family member or friend.
Okay.
So and some people they take 10 lessons. Some people take 15, 20. So the ones that passed on the first time, that are the ones usually that took so many hours with me, like 20 hours, 25 hours.
Okay. And if they fail that road test, do they
Hmm.
have to come back to you guys, or they just say, you know what, I'm going to try again?
No, they don't have to come back to us. They can, reschedule online. They can do it online, or they can have a family member or friend help them with the driving.
So, in your professional opinion,
Hmm.
someone who takes a driving class via a school, do you
Hmm.
find that they tend to do better behind the wheel as a driver or not?
I think so. If they go with the driving school, yes,
So,
because we are trained to teach. We're trained to show what the students need to know, to be able to do the right thing on the road with the rules, regulations, the how to operate the car and all that stuff.
do you find that they tend to retain that information? So, the minute they come to Big Sam's driving school
Hmm.
until the point where, 20 years
Some,
down the line, they retain that information.
uh,
So, they're
I
better
find
drivers.
I find that the younger generation they pick it up quick. The older generation is very hard. I
Okay.
had I had student drivers late 50s.
Whoa.
My oldest student was 67, and it was very hard for her to pick it up, very hard. So the younger generation tend to pick it up really fast.
Okay. So, in your professional opinion,
Hmm.
um, and it's strictly your opinion, of course,
Okay.
do you recommend someone take lessons from a driving school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I actually made a video. It's on my channel. The reason being because when you train or get lessons from a family member's car or friend's car, they don't have a second brake, and you do some kind of, you start speeding up a little bit, and that person that's with you, they don't have a second brake. They can't stop that
Mm.
car. The only thing they can do is try to steer away, but you can still lose control, and
Good. Yeah.
it's
That
yeah,
that yeah. That I was really wasn't thinking that, but that's a good point to
yeah.
make. But I was
Hmm.
kind of thinking that if I can't use myself. Well, let's just use the average person who's getting taught to drive by their brother or their uncle, their father. That person teaching them, you would think they're going to teach them their bad habits, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so
And
that
and if
makes
and
sense.
if I could say one thing, I had a student driver. He was in his late 50s. He actually came from another country.
Okay.
He was a limousine driver in his country, but he came to New York to get his driver's license, New York State driver's license. I tested him. I gave him a mock test. He failed.
Uh-huh.
He was driving with one hand, stopping
Really.
at stopping after the stop sign. When he was parallel parking, he wasn't doing it the way, you're supposed to be doing it on the road test. He
All
was
right.
using his mirrors, not turning his head. So he was unsuccessful in my mock test. And then I gave him his score, and I showed him what all the mistakes he did. All
Yeah.
the critical driver errors. So and then when I corrected his skills, took him to the road test. When he passed, and when he passed, he wanted to kiss me.
Not now, right? Not
Yeah,
now.
I said,
Even
no.
even
I
even
was
prior
pushing
to
him
COVID,
away.
no kisses, right?
Yeah, no,
So,
no, well, that was before the pandemic, so
well, even still, I
yeah,
get
yeah,
it. But
I know,
now,
yeah,
you brought something up, very important, about backing up, turning your head, looking over your shoulder. With all of the technology that we have right now, I'll be
yeah,
honest, I don't even turn around anymore. I have so
hmm
many cameras on my
yeah,
car
myself too. I do too.
that
Yeah,
I just look at the screen. It
uh huh,
pops up.
hmm
I can see the front tire with the curb. I can see the side of the car. I can see the
yeah,
top of the car. I can see the
hmm
line.
yeah.
Do you find that people are looking for that technology or what?
Um, the one thing I get asked from students is that they have a car that they're gonna take to the road test and that they have a backup camera. Can they use that backup camera? I tell them no, you cannot use it. The examiner at the road test, they will cover up the little monitor for the backup camera.
Mm,
The reason that they do that is because they know that in your lifetime you're not gonna be driving that car the whole time. You're probably gonna start driving a car that doesn't have a backup camera, or a car that doesn't have a camera in the back. It doesn't have to be a backup camera. It could just be a camera that's installed that it's always on, and you can see behind you. There's
right.
some vehicles equipped like that, and there's some old vehicles that might be driving. They don't have that backup camera or that camera in the back installed, and so you have to turn your head. You should turn your head. Just turn your head, use your mirrors, everything. Just observe everything. So
Yeah.
they just don't want you using that backup camera.
Yeah, you kind of answered the question that I had towards the end, about those DMV people that give the road test, what they
Yeah, I
call
was.
them,
Yeah,
their examiners. I just
yeah. They
never
call
knew
them
what they were
examiners.
called, so thank you for
Yeah.
clearing that up for me.
Yep.
But let's kind of leapfrog into, what I do as a profession, as a law enforcement officer. Do any instructors, actually teach their students how to interact with law enforcement? And that's if they get pulled over. And if so, why do they do it? And if you know of anyone, or even if yourself, that you don't teach them, why?
I teach it all the time, especially my 5 hour class. I teach it all the time. I actually have a video that I show my students what to do. It's a video on what to do if you get pulled over by a police officer. I teach
Okay.
it all the time. I don't know about other driving instructors. I can't speak for them, but I'm speaking for myself. But I, every driving instructor is different. They have it their way. I'm not sure, but I know I do. Everyone
That's
is
good.
different. Yeah.
So, what would be one point if you, and I don't know what you teach them in their class, but what do you
hmm
think the most important thing is that you tell these students? Hey, if you get pulled over, do
hmm
this.
Well, one of the things I tell them, what three things do you need? What three documents do you need if you get pulled over by a police officer? Some of them just give me two answers. They forget one of them. Like yesterday, I asked that question and someone answered and they couldn't remember the third one. And I told them proof of insurance.
Hmm.
Um,
Do
the
you
best
teach?
thing. Go
Do
ahead.
you tell them that New York State? I mean, maybe they don't have it in their car, but this was something very big, with law enforcement agencies kind of early on, especially in my career. If you didn't have that insurance card, you were getting a summons for it. But now New York State law says that they'll accept the digital version. So sometimes people are like, I don't
Yeah.
have it. Do you have the insurance app? Pull it up in the app,
I told
so
them that,
forth and
yes.
so on. Okay,
I
good.
told them like I told them yesterday. And remember, it doesn't have to be in paper form. I have Geico as my insurance, and I
There you
told them
go.
I have the Geico app. You sign in, and you have your proof of insurance right there. You can show that to the police officer.
Listen, if Geico is watching, any representative, you want to, throw some work for Sam and myself, we'll come out. We'll do a video for you guys.
There
That
you
that
go.
was the point.
There you go.
A little shameless plug there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Send us some stuff. But all right, that's good because with what's going on now, and I mentioned it, in the video that we did together, with the whole defund the police and Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter, the
hmm
whole BLM movement, and all kinds of you know groups out there that are just anti-police. It's good that you guys are, teaching these students how to, interact, with the
hmm
police,
Yes.
and making sure that they have those documents, making sure they're in order, and
hmm
overall, it'll just make for a better car stop for the police officer
Yeah.
and the driver themselves. So that's good. But now, with the fact that they are getting pulled over, in the event that they get a traffic summons, Do you guys provide them with like the point system? So you say, hey, if you run a stop sign, this is the number of points that you're going to get on your license. If you get caught speeding, this is another set of points. If you're talking
Hmm.
and texting, that's two different sets of points, texting and driving and
Yeah.
using your cell
Yeah.
phone. Do you guys provide that? So maybe they say, hey, I don't want to get, any points on
Hmm.
my license.
Yeah.
And also, do you tell them, hey, after a certain amount of points, your license gets suspended? Do you share that information with these
Actually,
students
to
of
be
yours?
honest with you, no, we don't teach that. I couldn't find any. Give me 1 second. I couldn't find any information unless this is the book that we have. Is or okay, here it is. It
Okay.
says New York State Department of Motor Vehicles Pre-Licensing Course Instructor's Manual, and we teach them what's in here. I probably overlooked it, but the other driving schools that I work for also, I seen the other driving instructors teaching the 5 hour class, and no, we don't go over that. The only thing we go over is the point system, how many points you need to pass to get your driver's license. But
Yeah.
that is a good point. We should bring that up though.
Yeah, because you got to
Should
say, hey, look, you can't just get behind the wheel and drive,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
commit a violation and there's no
I mean, they
repercussions for
yeah
it.
they do know
Hey,
that they.
this
They
is
they do know they can get a fine and all that,
right, but
but not the
not
point
just a
system.
fine, but now you have points,
Yeah.
and now you
Mm-hmm.
get a certain amount of points. At minimum, they're going to suspend your license for 31 days once you hit a certain threshold, and maybe
Yeah.
that license is your livelihood.
Yes. Yes.
There's something to think about. Maybe bring
Mm-hmm.
it, back to your school, or hey, just throw it in there
Yeah.
real quick. You
Yeah.
can get it
Yeah.
online. Say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, look, these are the points that you can get if you commit these violations after a certain amount, no license, and now
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
might be suspended, and now you run the risk of getting arrested for driving with a suspended license. Of course,
Yes.
it all depends on the number of suspensions you have, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't want any suspensions on your driving record
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
Exactly. I mean, there's only one of the point systems that I tell them about. Excuse me. There's one of the point systems that I tell them about. When it says like in Manhattan, if you drive, it says don't block the box. I think they give you 2 points for that and $200, $200
Okay, that's a
fine.
big one, and
Yeah.
I personally I dislike that because there are certain areas within Manhattan that's just very congested. And I get it. You don't want to
Mhm.
block the box, you want the traffic to move freely. But I saw it myself, and I was actually approached by a New York City traffic agent because I thought that I could have, the clearance to get through. And I waited, I did the right thing, and traffic was moving. I'm like, all right, I can make it. But for whatever reason, I just didn't see far enough ahead, and I got caught in the box. Not bad, but to my left, there were like, three or four traffic agents standing there, and they were just waiting.
Wow.
And it kind of upset me a little bit. And I'm like, you should be directing the traffic, not waiting for
Yeah.
somebody to turn
I
around
see that a
and
lot too. Yeah.
box. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I said, why
Yeah.
weren't you just directing traffic? You had a better view than me. You could have said, hold on a second,
Mm-hmm.
and let me know. But at the end of the day, she was very understanding. She didn't write me the summons, or anything like that. I think she understood that, but I understand, even if she did, she has a job to do. We all have a job to do, and I would have understood it. Maybe I should have waited just a little while longer to make sure. But
Yeah. Yeah.
sitting in that Manhattan traffic, man, it's just like I
Oh,
just got to get out of this traffic.
terrible. Yeah.
So I understand it. Listen, I don't want to hold up, too much more of your time. I only got a few more questions I want to get
No,
out
that's okay.
there. Um, my next question to you is, you've been doing this a long time, and
Yeah.
I sincerely appreciate, you doing the job that you do, because again, it's very important that these new
Yeah.
drivers learn. Now,
Mm-hmm.
during your
Thank you.
time driving, have
Mm-hmm.
any of your students been involved in an accident, or is that break there preventing it?
Well, I'll tell you this. I had a lot of almost. I mean, if you look at my videos, I had a lot of almost. I only had this one particular student. Let me see if I can pull it up. I hope I can still share my screen here. All right, let me hit share. Okay, I had a student that she was doing the parallel parking, and it wasn't big. She was backing up on the parallel parking. And let me pull up this picture here. All right, see that fire hydrant? You see that, right?
Yes.
Fire hydrant. Okay, she was now this fire hydrant is you can see this higher, but it was actually lower. And she was backing up, and she was doing fine. Her driving skills were not too bad. She was doing fine. She was backing up. all of a sudden she hit the gas a little too hard, and that happened so fast, and she hit this right here. What is that, like the nut that turns the to take
Yeah,
the cap out of something? She
yeah.
hit that,
That's
and
just for the spanner wrench. They call it a spanner wrench, and
yes,
that
yes,
spanner wrench goes on that, and it releases the
hmm
cap.
and she hit that, and she poked a small hole in the back of the bumper.
Wow.
But
No,
that's
so
about it.
nothing major.
No, nothing major. No, no.
Nothing major.
Thank
Well,
God,
that's
nothing
good.
major. Yeah.
Now, I'm glad that wasn't anything major, but tell the viewers about your worst experience
My worst experience.
with the
Oh man,
student.
I had one particular student. There was two lanes. We were driving down the road. He wanted to change over to the right lane. So what he does is he's not. When you're gonna change lanes, you're supposed to keep your wheel still going straight. So he did one of these. He turns and his arms is going doing this, turning the wheel the opposite way. I don't know why he did that, but it's like his mind wasn't, hand-eye coordination, so or mind-hand coordination. So he's doing this, and he almost smacked into the wall. There was a wall on the left side,
Wow.
and like I said, my bionics kicked in, and I had to grab that wheel so hard, and when
Bionics.
I turned it to get back in the lane, the car jerked, and you could see other drivers. They probably understood it was a student driver, driving school car.
Yeah, see, I thought you were gonna mention, sympathetic movement, like, he was looking, to the right, and then he started gravitating to the right, but he
Yeah,
just did it opposite. So
he
he's
did the
looking to the right
opposite.
and then gravitating to the left. Wow.
Yes, and I don't, and like I told my wife, I don't know why that happened, because usually it would be the way that he wants to go, but he was actually doing the other way. It was like he had a heavy left hand and he was going the opposite way. I don't
Wow.
know
That
why.
that's unusual.
Very unusual. Yes.
So I think you kind of answered, my next question, but I'll
hmm
ask it anyway. How many lessons are given before they can actually take their road test, or is it really at the teacher's discretion or the students, well, the teachers or the students' comfort level?
It depends. It depends. Some students they don't want to pay more money. They say, I don't have any more money. I'm gonna just take 5 lessons and wing it. I had one student. She told me, I'm gonna just wing it. I'm gonna take 5 lessons and wing
Just
it.
gonna wing it, and that's probably
Exactly.
somebody that's gonna get pulled over later on in life,
Yes. Yes.
and they're gonna be mad. Yeah,
Yeah. But you know what? They went to the road test and they were unsuccessful.
they were
They
not.
they were unsuccessful. Yeah, they were not
So
successful.
okay,
Yeah.
so
I don't
now
like to
she's
use the
like,
word.
oh,
Yeah. I really don't like to use the word fail. I just say unsuccessful.
that
you know.
that's a nice way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So
good. That
some.
that makes them feel a little bit better
hmm
about themselves. I get it. So now, when you take them to their driving, and this is really my last question for you, are
Okay.
the driving instructors, your profession, are they cool with the DMV examiners? So if I took Big Sam's class and now that
Big Mac
examiner
Sam.
sees that I'm with Big Sam, they know, all
Yeah.
right, this guy's going to pass. I know how Sam teaches his
hmm
class. Are they cool where it's like, all right, well, this other guy wasn't that great, so I know I'm going to have a problem? Are they
Um.
good like that?
Some examiners, they to be honest with you, they have a poker face. They're not really, you know, friendly. I hate to say that. Some of them are very cool, and some of the examiners, I sometimes come up to them, the one that I feel like they're approachable, and because I already know them for a while, I get the vibes. I know who's cool, who's not. Some of the examiners that I feel comfortable with, I sometimes tell the examiner when they're gonna go with that student, be careful, because this student, they decided to take a road test when I didn't recommend it. They're
Okay.
not really, you know,
Do
good
you find that
driver.
they pass sometimes? Like, oh wow, I'm surprised.
No,
Or
not
they were
really.
just unsuccessful.
Yeah, they were unsuccessful.
Right.
Actually, they're not good. Yeah, they did not do good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and when I tell them that, I tell them that be careful with the student. They're not really good. The examiner tells me, "Thank you, I appreciate it," because that way it give them more of an alert to get ready to press down on that brake or grab the wheel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, that's all I have for now. for now.
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
definitely like to get you back on.
Awesome,
I'll
awesome.
ask the viewers if you guys have any questions. Again, maybe you have, a preteen or some, of your family members that are looking to get their license and you want to learn a little bit more, about the process. Please put those questions, comments, concerns in that section below, and Sam, he'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. Maybe we'll put together another video and address those questions for you, which I think would be a great thing. So, you have anything that I did not ask that you want to get out there? Please take this opportunity and do so, man. If you have
Um,
anything,
can't think
yeah,
of
just put
anything.
you on the spot,
No,
right?
no, that's okay. I'm already on the spot. I got my ring light right here. Spotlight.
Gotcha. All right. Well, listen, we'll put together something again. I definitely appreciate you taking, the time out. We've been trying to get this thing done for a little while, and I
Yeah,
understand, with our schedules and with COVID and everything.
yeah,
I said, you know
exactly.
what, we got to get this done because again, it's very important for
Yes,
me
yes.
personally to get this information out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we'll put something together again. At a
Sure,
later date to address some other concerns. I might definitely have some more questions that I like to throw out there at you,
sure.
and we'll put together something again.
Okay.
So again, tell these guys how they can find you. Your YouTube, got some social media you want to put out there, put it all out there, man.
Yep. I just have. Well, I'm basically sticking with YouTube. I'm not really big into. I don't have a Facebook account. If you, I'm on Twitter, but I don't really follow. I just basically have a Twitter account just for people to send me private messages.
Yeah,
But I'm not.
Twitter's good. I wasn't a big tweeter, but now I'm
Mm-hmm.
following everything that's going on. It's
Yeah.
a good source of information.
Yeah, I actually follow just a small number of people on Twitter, but I'm not really big into it. I'm not
Follow Cops
constantly
Court
posting.
Community.
Yeah. Oh, you do. Yeah, you do. Now you found my. I noticed that that's how you got a hold of me because you
Yes.
found my Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what people should do. Just have
Yeah.
at least one of those.
Yeah. Good,
Yeah.
good. All right, man. Listen, again, I appreciate you, so much for taking the time
Awesome.
out,
Awesome.
and doing this. And,
Yeah.
I think as we move forward, we'll build some more content together,
Sure.
and hopefully,
This is awesome.
soon when this whole, COVID-19 coronavirus
Mm-hmm.
pandemic thing, comes to an end, we'll get together, we'll grab a bite,
Yep. Yep.
and we'll bring our families together, and we'll
Yep.
we'll continue doing what we do here,
Mm-hmm.
man. So I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate you
Awesome, man.
and
Thank you for
everything that
having me.
you do. All right, guys,
All right.
appreciate it, man. As always, guys, make sure you subscribe both to Cops Court and Community.
Yep.
Big Mac
Later.
Sam, check him out on YouTube.
Thank you.
And definitely, guys, as I always say, finally, please, guys, be humble, be compassionate, love one another. And that comes from 1 Peter 3:8, guys. Thank you so much. Sam, I appreciate you, man. We'll
Yep.
be
God
in
bless
touch.
you, man.
Take care.
Take care. Yep. Later.